And welcome again to The Pits. I'm Bryony Ingerson, thanks for joining me, and a warm thanks for all of your support following our first program. Today we'll examine the legacy of the man many describe as the greatest racing car driver the world has ever seen, Ayrton Senna. It's now 20 years since Senna's life was cut tragically short, but his legend lives on.
I remember when I was, walking back to the car thinking I got some incredible pictures.
I also caught up with V8 hotshot Shane Van Gisbergen on his recent visit to New Zealand.
The car was what did it. It was just unbelievable there.
And we'll look at the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge, a racing category that enables gentleman drivers to realise a dream and compete on some of the best circuits in the country.
The camaraderie between all the competitors here is fantastic.
But first, we've now completed the first round of Formula One away races. And with all the changes that have taken place so far, it appears that the Red Bull dominance has given way to the superior performances of the Mercedes team, and in particular, the re-emergence of Lewis Hamilton. For many Aussies, the rise of Daniel Ricciardo has been the feature of the season so far, with the new Red Bull recruit doing what Mark Webber failed to do: get Sebastian Vettel to move out of the way. Our man in the pits, former Ferrari driver Ivan Capelli, has been watching developments closely. Earlier I caught up with Ivan from Italy. The season so far is looking like a bit of a Mercedes whitewash. Do you think there's any hope for the others?
Actually, Mercedes start with obviously a very good season with the rostrum with Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. I think that Mercedes actually is very, very strong. They started this project actually 2 years ago, and we can see the result now. They are actually very fast. They don't have any kind of problem, not just on the Mercedes cars, but also the Mercedes power unit on the other team is really reliable.
How serious do you think the competition is between the two Mercedes team drivers?
I think that Lewis Hamilton is the fastest in between the teammate inside the Mercedes in comparison to Nico Rosberg. He's probably found a very good balance with his car, and he showed obviously in the last 3 Grand Prix that he can easily be fastest in comparison to Nico Rosberg.
Ricciardo seems to be a real surprise. Did you expect him to be so competitive against Vettel?
Actually, I was really surprised by the Ricciardo performance since the Australian Grand Prix. He's proving that he's quick, he's intelligent, because he obviously found a very good balance between him and the team, and he's beating Vettel regularly, not just in the race, but also in the free practice during the Friday and the Saturday, showing that he found a perfect balance between him and the Red Bull car.
Of course, it's interesting for Australians to see Ricciardo do what Webber was unable to do, force Vettel to move over.
What we saw in China was actually, I think, a very good show from Ricciardo, because he pushed Vettel in a different situation, and Vettel was instructed by the team to let him pass. This was not happening last year with Mark Webber, and I think that he's proving that inside the team Red Bull at the moment there is an equal, let's say, performance between the team to supply to the driver the right car.
Australians are just loving what Ricciardo is doing. It's quite amusing, isn't it?
I think that Ricciardo is the driver of the future, not just because he's fast, but because he's a nice guy. But I think that Ricciardo can really be the new star of the Formula One in the future.
Do you think Ricciardo has any chance of being seriously competitive in the championship this year?
Unfortunately, Ricciardo has to face a big problem from the beginning with the disqualification, the Grand Prix in Australia, and he lost important points. But I think that generally he can be really quick, and he can be part of the drivers that are going to fight for the championship at the end of the year.
Ivan, you're Italian. Explain to me, what's going on at Ferrari?
For sure, nobody expected a start so slow from the cars produced in Maranello. I think that the change that they've done now with the team principal, Stefano Domenicali is gone, and Marco Mattiacci arrived from the Ferrari North America. I think that actually is at least giving a shock to the team for the second part of the season.
Now I hear the sisters are moving into Formula One. Do you think we'll see a woman on the podium sometime soon?
Actually, there are a lot of women in Formula One, now also inside the monocoque, the car. We are talking obviously about Susie Wolff and Simona De Castro that are actually officially testing the car this year, especially for Susie Wolff. There will be a test in Silverstone, but there are also some other women that are involved in Formula One as a technician, as engineers on the backstage, let's say, but since many years. So actually Formula One is opening to the women. We have Monisha Kastenborg that is managing the Sauber team. There is Claire Williams as well that is at the top of the management of the Williams. So there is a possibility to see more women in Formula One.
Pirelli is the exclusive tyre supplier for all Formula One races, and the company produced this film in preparation for the Spanish Grand Prix.
Wide radius corners and high lateral forces make Barcelona one of the most demanding circuits for tyres. The left side is worked particularly hard, with a high traction demand on the left rear because of the extensive torque from the turbocharged engines. With medium levels of downforce, which are reduced compared to last year, a setup that isn't perfect can cause the rear of the car to slide. This can potentially lead to oversteer and overheating of the compound, causing the rear tyres to degrade. As well as fast corners, there are tight hairpins and chicanes that generate high tyre temperatures. The front left can reach a peak of 130 degrees centigrade and cause degradation. This is especially the case in free practice, when the track has not yet rubbered in.
You can catch the next race, the Spanish Grand Prix, tonight on Network 10. After the break, I catch up with Shane van Gisbergen.
There's nothing better than going driving, and I get bored sitting at home for more than a week, so got to be racing something and driving around.